Melissa, I am so excited to have you on this episode of the Success with Soul podcast. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
I'm excited to be here with you, Indira. I have been looking forward to this moment. I love who you're serving and I love what you guys are all about.
Yay. So, Melissa, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and your entrepreneurial journey.
Wow, wow, and wow. So myself, I'm Melissa Hughes. I'm a mom, a wife. I'm a business owner of over 20 years, successful business owner. I've been doing coaching and consulting, and also my family owns a performing arts Christian preschool in the suburbs of Atlanta. So that's a little bit about my businesses, and my entrepreneurial journey has been quite phenomenal. A lot of twists and turns. I mean, I think that I'm not unique. Earlier on, I started in corporate America, and I was able to be successful in rising to the ranks of that. However, I felt like there was this one day and I was in this really nice hotel with a great view, and I was so upset because I was on business calls, I was fighting fires, and I was like, this cannot be my forever after. Like, I felt like, I mean, I was told that like the more money you make and the more bonuses you get, that's where you get your freedom, right? And the more money I got and the more bonuses I got, I felt like I had the titanium handcuffs. Like, it was suffocating. And the more time that I was rising through the ranks was the less time I had to spend with people that I really cared about, my family, and people that I loved. It was like that work and that career was taking a lot out of me. And I wasn't happy. I was overweight, all the above. So my thing is that over the course of my career, I heard this little voice, and it was like, there is another way. You know, like I heard this thing, and I was like, yeah, but I'm a thorough learner. And I was sticking with the facts. My family is originally from Jamaica, and I was the first generation born here. And the facts were like, you go to school, you get a job, you get married, get the white picket fence. Like, this is the playbook that I was given. And I was feeling guilty because I wasn't feeling fulfilled, but I also didn't want to feel ungrateful. So, but eventually on that day, I was like, you know what? I'm fed up with all this. Like, I know what this looks like because I went to the Hill, Fortune 50 company, all that. I'm willing to risk it. I'm willing to discover what that other way is. And so that led me on a journey to a lot of introspection, a lot of investing in myself, masterminds, the whole nine. And I found it. I found that other way. I've been a successful business owner for over 20 years now. My business has made 7 figures for quite a while now. And I am a mom. I have a 7-year-old daughter. She's already been to like 17 countries. And so I am so happy that I listened to what we now call intuition. I'm so happy that I listened to that yearning in my heart and in my soul that said, you know what, like, you can make a bigger impact. If whatever you're doing in these companies, you can take it outside of these walls and do better, make more of an impact, and get rewarded handsomely for it. And my biggest draw was trying to make an impact, was trying to leave this world way better than when I arrived, just to be that contribution. And I want to say that as a result of my career and my journey, I'm very thankful. And I love being on your show because Soul with Success, that's what it's all about. My life does represent that. I did follow my soul purpose. And I haven't looked back. And I'm not going to say it was always easy. Like, that's not what I'm here to advertise or promote. I'm saying that I found a way to do it with grace and ease and do the hard work and navigate the ups and downs. And I picked up a lot of tools. I invested heavily in myself, and I never gave up on me. And as a result, I have a life that I never even imagined was possible to have. So that's kind of a little bit about what you were asking me, I think. I hope I answered the questions, but that's what it is.
I literally went on the journey with you.
Oh.
That's amazing, Melissa. There's just so much that I want to unpack with that. The first is that you were making good money,
Yeah.
and you were willing to risk it. And I feel like as entrepreneurs, I was a former entrepreneur before I decided to become an intrapreneur for this company. That's the biggest thing, right? We're willing to risk to quit that corporate job. And then right away, we want to make what we were making in the corporate world, like the first year on becoming an entrepreneur. And most of the time, that's just not realistic. Like that you are
not. And so my journey was this, like, when I decided, I started taking the actions. And so I first went into consulting. And so this is so I was in corporate America doing my thing, management, all the whole nine, worked for companies like Microsoft, McKesson, all these different places. And when I decided, I actually started doing consulting. So I ended up being an independent consultant. And then I was like, wait a minute, because I was trading hours for time then. So I was making more money, but I was trading hours for time. And I was like, no, this is not the equation. This is not the life I want to create. Like, scratch it off, do it again, do another picture, draw another picture. And so I wanted to get paid for the results that I could provide. And that's when I went to coaching. So while I had my own consulting business at the time. I actually then on Fridays, I would call it my 6-figure Fridays, because that's when I was consulting my consulting clients. And so I was traveling, doing consulting Monday through Thursday. On Fridays, I would actually do my coaching calls. And then eventually I was able to just do consult like now, but I set an intention. I wanted my coaching to buy me out of my consulting. I wanted my consulting to buy me out of my full-time job. So I actually made those kind of intentions so that I can bridge the gap. And it was still a lot of risk. I mean, my family fortunately is Jamaican. Sometimes I say I have 50 million jobs. There were times where I felt like I had 50 million jobs, but you know what? I don't have 50 million jobs anymore. I'm a CEO of my company and I deal with other companies. And I'm very thankful for the journey because it made me build my confidence. It made me admit that I actually do have patience, which I would have never told you I did. It strengthened my perseverance and my persistence. It made me lean into my faith more than ever before. I mean, my spirituality, it was not an everyday living. It was my entrepreneurship journey that really brought me closer to God. I was like, the way out of nowhere is real. So these are the things that as part of my journey, it wasn't, now I've had clients that did quit cold turkey and come to me and say, I'm ready to go. I have had that. And
Okay.
I have supported them with the bridge. And one client in particular, we laugh about it now, but she totally quit her job and said, Melissa, I'm ready to do the jump. And I was coaching with her before and she didn't ask me. She just told me this is what I did. So, so she said it, and I think it was in October that she said it and all that. And I started supporting her with that. Right before the end of that year, I had to call her up and I said, look, this is not what it looks like. If you keep on this track, then you're going to get yourself another job. Because to be an entrepreneur, you have to do what it takes to do it. And right now, you on that sofa is not what it looks like. So, that got her into gear. She got my stuff that I needed from her to get it done. And so she's making healthy 6 figures now, very healthy. She was in the hospitality industry as a GM. And she also did her pay cut. She decreased that job responsibility, started coaching me and working through her business. And what was so great about that is that was October 2019. In 2020 is when COVID hit. Hospitality industry tanked.
Yes.
So I was so thankful that number one, she was totally living her best life during the pandemic. She had a young son. They're in the kitchen creating these beach scenes, with the recliners, the beach ball, they're showing me pictures, having beach day, imaginary beach day in the living room. So she was able to have first of all, decreased stress, still making money, able to spend time with the people that she really loved. Her son is phenomenal. He actually, when she was coaching me, he was sitting there at the desk, listening to everything. During the pandemic, he decided to open a math tutoring business. And for the grades that were above him, he hired the 8th grader across the street to work for him to do the classes that he did not, that he was not, into that math thing yet. So my thing is that as a result of me trusting that voice and doing the hard work, my intention was always to make a generational difference, making change, not only for my clients, but also seeing the ripple within their children as well. And that's something that was that thing that she was telling me stories and I've been seeing her growth. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had tears because I was like, my God, that's the impact that I always prayed that I could make in this world. And having the fruits of that being presented that I would not have gotten if I was in corporate, not the things that I was doing in corporate. I got it because I trusted myself enough to honor that intuition, honor what I feel like my purpose is, and to go full out in it and be unapologetic about it. And then to recognize that, we work for the boss of all bosses. I mean, if you're looking for your soul purpose and you're looking to live in that realm, then there's that intuition that comes with the manufacturing. With your soul comes your intuition, that divine guidance or that discernment. In addition to that, I don't have a boss in my business, but I do believe I work for the boss of all bosses. Some people say universe, I say God, doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's bigger than us.
Yes.
And I feel like if I was working in a corporation, which I haven't, I've had a good boss before, as long as the money's coming in and the clients are happy, they're like, what can I do for you, Melissa? You need a day off? What can we do? Like they go out of their way to make sure I'm comfortable so I can focus on the job at hand. And I feel like if a human being can do that, then God totally does that. And he has way more limitless potential opportunities, to provide me. That abundance is there. So I just found that I haven't really lost in this journey. I've done nothing but gain. I've gained the things that I wanted, but then the things that I didn't even think was possible to get.
Wow. I love, there's so many things that you said that I love. One of them is to really trust your intuition, discernment. I think that one of the biggest things with entrepreneurs, as I'm sure you know, is mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone thinks that I have the skill set, but they don't realize how important the mindset piece is. So it seems like you had that from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm blessed in that way. And it might have been because my family came from an island and like we just had that joy thing going on and the willingness to do hard work. And I feel like society has a very good way of disconnecting us from our souls. Has a very good way of making us feel less than, not good enough. Got to buy this because you're not good enough. Got to buy this because you're not worthy. You got to because you're not pretty enough. You don't have the ideal weight, those kind of things. And then we have people that are in our sphere that are well-intentioned and they are coming from a place of protection, but it actually kills our ability to trust ourselves. It kills our ability to be really in tune with our feelings to the point where it serves us as opposed to brings us down because we're crashing and burning because we're disconnected from our soul, disconnected from that intuition, if you will. And that is actually a process.
Yes.
It's like abundance. It's a muscle to reintroduce yourself to yourself again. That takes work, you know? And so I believe that, yes, we can totally be competent and capable. We can be like, I serve giants. Giants are highly educated, multi-talented. And yet, once you have someone's mind, you have them. So it's like, let's get our mind back. Let's get our confidence back. Let's trust ourselves, our ability to make decisions. For the last 15, 20 years, I've been teaching executives and entrepreneurs on how to make powerful choices in times of uncertainty with grace and ease and not second guessing themselves. We're leading people, we're leading our families, we're leading teams, we're leading our businesses. So how do you get back in tune with trusting, yes, the data, but also that intuition so you get the full solution? Because 1 + 1 doesn't always equal the 2 that you're looking for.
Oh, yes. Preach. I love it.
That's so real.
So with that, I want to segue. I looked at your website and I love that you're known as the implementation queen.
Yes.
Tell me all the things. What does that mean? Tell me.
Yeah, I was coined that not by myself, but my clients and my colleagues, because they were like, you just get shit done. Like you just get it done. And I do because if I have a blueprint, which I provide my clients, so it's like, I know the importance of like systems that work, right? And if you have a system that works, if it works for you, then that's like the sexiest thing ever. Like, I feel like it's amazing. So I do love to understand what does it take to get from here to there and how to make it happen. And what makes me the queen or whatever the latest, expertise on that is that I understand as far as giants are concerned, that it's not just the steps. If it was just the steps, we can Google that. Like that's like a Google download. Like that's not a big deal. But it is understanding the texture and the journey and what are the additional tools you need to pick up along the way to make sure that it is like you conquer. I said, when you conquer yourself, you can conquer the world. So implementation is not just the steps, but also understanding who am I in the journey? Who do I need to be in the journey to get to the other side? And it is the steps, but it's also who you be, not just what you do. And I understand the importance of that in being able to accomplish any goal that we set out to do. And that's, I think, what has made me more of a masterful person in not only my life, but also how I support others as well.
I love that. It's really about building the identity, I feel, to becoming the person that takes those steps and really implementing. I love implementation queen. That is a wonderful nickname to have. You've spoken so much about intuition and why it's so important to leverage that in business. And I'm wondering, do you have something very specific with a client that you can share with us where they really tapped into that intuition and it served them, great?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have a few, but let me get the
Oh,
one. There's one in particular. And so I have a client and she's based in Puerto Rico. And she had her platform that she totally wanted to do, which was all in alignment with her. She's overcome a lot of things. She's a professional. She has a marketing business as well. And we were talking about like kind of what's getting in the way of her being able to step into this other revenue stream that she was doing. And intuitively, she knew that. She's like, you know what? I know that I need to clean some things up before I go into this realm, right?
yes.
And intuitively, she just knew it. And I understood where she was coming from. And so I supported her in being able to clean those things up. So now she's like a force. She's a force to be reckoned with. And my thing is sometimes you have to have grace for yourself to know that, oh yeah, that's my destiny for sure. And never losing sight of that. But sometimes when you make that decision that that's where you're wanting to go, it's like giving like the universe permission to tell you, okay, this is the closet you need to clean up. Like this is the person you need to get rid of, because they're going to be like, there are things that need to happen in our lives for us to get to that great golden bridge goal. Like it took a long time to build a golden bridge, right? So it's like, be open to that. It doesn't mean it's not for you. It's not going to be worthy of you being able to go there, but you've never been there before. And there's things that can get in the way of you getting there. With intuition, you can navigate that with grace and ease. You can navigate that. Says, oh yeah, this is me. Okay, I am. All right, I'm pausing right now. I'm expanding here. Okay, let me do this. And now what's that next step? Intuition has a way of giving you what's that next step. What's that next step? For me, intuitively, there was a time where I was given the message, okay, we need to teach people. I took my clients to Bali and how to leverage intuition in your business and your life. And I did the retreat in Bali. Well, that year that I said I'd do it, all hell broke out. Like my business started crashing left and right, like stuff that wasn't, not like stuff that should not have been happening. I felt like I literally went to the devil's house and like paper rolled it or something. And I'm like getting paid back or whatever, right? So much resistance. There was so much resistance. I was like, you know what? I don't care, hell or high water. I'm going to do this retreat. I don't care. You can bring whatever you want to my door. It's going to happen. And after it happened, like the week that I came back, the Sunday I came back, I landed a $300,000 deal.
That's amazing.
It's totally amazing. And so this is what I'm saying. Like when you're up to big things, you will be given opportunities to grow and expand and to learn. Without leveraging your intuition, you could just be like, oh, here's my stop sign. I need to turn back. Or you can be like, oh, this situation is defining me. I can't go any further. Or who do I think I am? I really thought I was going to be able to do this, but look at what I have in my bank account. I'm not even worthy. I'm so far apart from that. No, it's not. That's not the case. If you are able to leverage your intuition, you're able to navigate what's really going on. And the data is always important, but you also want to combine it. So you don't hire the wrong person. You don't bring on the wrong team member. You don't trust the wrong partner because their resume and the data was so clean cut. But that intuitively, you're like, this is not a fit. There's something up. I don't know what it is. I don't feel comfortable with this. And I've helped my clients not make wrong business deals because the person was so shiny. But intuitively, they're like, and that's why they brought to me, like, there's something about that. They were like they're like, I know I need to do this, but there's something about it. But by us talking about, and I gave them through an exercise as to how to walk through to get the answer intuitively. Then they were able to settle in their decision and choose powerfully, like, no, even though this looks amazing and I need that partner, but this is not the right one. And then the right one came. And we were like celebrating. Intuitively, I helped a client make $1 million because she did this pilot for a bank. And she put a lot of her investment in it. And then they were going to renegotiate for another year, a multi-year deal. And they presented her like, what they presented to her was like awful. Like it made her feel bad energetically. It just wasn't a fit. And she felt like she'd have to accept it. And I was like, no, let's pause here. Let's pause. Let's go through this from an intuitive perspective. Is this the deal that's going to make the most sense? And we said no. And I said, well, as their coach, I said, okay, well, you know what? Since that's no, let's take a different approach. Let's create a way of presenting this so that it would cost them to not do business with you.
Love that. What a
As a,
reframe.
yeah, total reframe. And she did it. She did, we did the work. I supported doing the work. We got that, provide the proposal. Now it was delayed, but not denied, right? Because she stuck to her guns with her teeth chattering and her knees knocking. She's like, no, I'm not going to accept this. Came back with another thing. No, she's not going to accept this. They eventually did. She had to make 750,000 as opposed to $1 million. But what they were offering her before was like beans. Like it was like nothing. So I feel like, those are opportunities that we have to just dial it back and not be caught up in the anxiety and the fear and the lack, and to be able to trust the process to get to the other side. Because she's super happy. She sent me the picture of her shaking hands with the banker, and like she's like totally happy. And she and this is another thing. The banker had told her, you know what, we're not going to be able to accept your deal. I just want to let you know in person, and I'm going to send you the email so it's formal. A week later, she's like, I didn't get the, she took it as, okay, that's it. I lost the deal. It's all good. Oh, good. A week later, the banker called her and said, you know what? Every time I tried to send that email, I couldn't. And the banker ended up going to her higher ups and getting permission to get the deal done and get the money funding the project. So I'm just saying, like, it's bigger than us. And we have our responsibility as human beings to do with what we can with the information that we have, to always do our best to strive for excellence. But then know that there's another aspect of being a soul-oriented person, that you're not here on accident, you're here on purpose. And to tap into not only the purpose, but the other benefits that come with you tapping into that purpose, and to know I can call for backup.
Oh, that was amazing, especially because you touched on something where I feel like as entrepreneurs, sometimes when things are not going our way, or we're presented with a deal and we think we're going to lose it, that we can come from the energy of scarcity.
Yes.
And when that takes place, then we're making decisions from a place of lack, a place of fear. So I really love that you're using that intuition to come from a place of abundance, and just knowing that you say God, I say universe, the universe has your back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, and that's absolutely the biggest takeaway that I would love for us to really be able to lean into, because being able to choose powerfully in times of uncertainty is the biggest gift you can give yourself, your legacy, and your employees. Because, you have to be able to understand, if I was to settle for this deal, if she was to settle for the deal, she would basically be paying them.
Oh my.
She would be getting paid. She'd be paying them. That would impact her health, obviously her wealth, her mental capacity. It would impact a lot. And so sometimes, the wrong kind of customers or the wrong deals you're going to pay a lot more for that. Sometimes being in that career that's sucking the life out of you, you're paying way more than the days that you are not the cool girl, not the cool guy, because you're so stressed out, overtired, and you cannot give your best to the people that you truly love. They get the last of you, not the best of you. And that's expensive.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to look at, what are we really paying to live in this life? What's the price that we're paying? Oh.
I feel like I needed to hear that. That's amazing. You're absolutely right. And as entrepreneurs, it's so important. Entrepreneurship can be an isolating.
Yes.
Yeah. So, something that we're so proud of with us here with the incubator is really, we have built a community. And a lot of our clients, what they say is that's what's really helped them, to have female entrepreneurs that are in it just like they are. It's so important. There is one last thing that I want to talk about, because I loved it. And it's you saying the power of being versus doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me what that means.
Yes, because oftentimes, especially the go-getters, the action takers, we're so good at doing. We'll do the heck out of things, right? If you need it done, it's done. We bring these solutions. We're there for everybody, and we are actually identifying with the fact that we're doers. And I'm wanting to provide another consideration that if you only rely on what you do, you lose what you're really bringing to the table. And you could do so much that you lose sight of yourself. You are like disconnected with who you are. And like when we face our problems, we're like, we'll just do more of it. We'll just do more. We like keep on now hitting against our head against the wall. I want you to be mindful of who you be. Like, what's the being of you? Because when you bring who you are into what you're doing and you value both of them, then you actually can do less, actually, because it's coming from a grounded and a rooted place. And then you're more competitive because you're more unique. If we're just isolating to what you do in your life, then now you'll become more of a commodity. Even if you do it really well, you're a commodity. But when you bring in who you are as a person, the essence of who you are, combined with what you do in business or in life, that's what makes you like phenomenal.
Oh, I love that.
Who you be has expansion. It has growth opportunities, because striving to be the best version of yourself, everybody wins. And a lot of times we lose sight of that, especially women, because we're like, we try to be this for everybody. We do things for everybody. And I'm like, martyrdom isn't sexy, ladies. Like, gals, martyrdom isn't sexy, because we offer this up. We train people to just take from us. And we sometimes don't even know how to ask for help. Those kind of things. So when you're being and you're honor who you be, coupled with what you do, you have more grace and ease in your navigation in the journey. And when you always value who you are, in addition to what you can provide, you have different results.
Yes. Oh, Melissa, I love it.
Yeah.
I love this. So we come to, this is my favorite part, and this is called our lightning round. And so I am just going to ask you a few questions, and it's whatever comes to mind.
Okay, let's go for it. I'm going to hold on.
Buckle up. Okay. What's your favorite way to make time for self-care while running your own business?
I set the intention. So I make time for myself in the morning before I even like support anyone else in the day. Because I feel like if I'm my best version of myself, I can really give from an overflow cup as opposed from an empty cup. So I also sent an intention. I look at my schedule and I like, this is how I want to feel. This is how I want my daughter to feel, my husband to feel, my clients to feel. And I set that intention for the day, and then I step into my day. So that's how I hear it also.
I love that you say, this is how I want to feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And I want them to feel like, I want us to create something. I want us to create a collaboration. I want this to be with grace and ease. I want us to serve the people that are listening. And that's what I want to show up and create with you.
Yes.
And I said that before I get on here, like, so like nothing's really random. Like, I'm like, okay, this is the intention I set for the day. Now let me step into the day. It's really helped me a lot. It really has. Because before I did that, the day would like do me. I wouldn't do the day. I'm like, oh my gosh, like frazzled, and I wouldn't take the time out to take care of myself first. And someone told me, I had a mentor tell me, he's like, look, if you don't take care of yourself first, then you're going to be placed in a situation where all you can do is take care of yourself, because that's what your needs are. Your health can be impacted. When your health is impacted, you can't take care of other people. You are now have to do it. So why don't you do this first? And then you could serve the world. Yes,
that is something that we're huge proponents of, put on your mask first before you can help someone else. Absolutely. I love that. So what's one tool or strategy that you use to help you with time management?
Well, I do blocking. Like, I do blocking of my time. And not only that, but like when I'm working out, I say, I name it, it's snatching my sexy back. If I'm like, like if it's revenue producing, I'll say like impact driven, like what can I do to make an impact today? Because the more people that I serve and I touch, that's where my revenues, like my team, we're clear. If we're making a difference in the world, that's how we are able to be very profitable. If we're not, you'll see that in the bottom line as well. You know what I mean? And so I block the time out to do the things that I want to do. I always make sure that I block out my family first. And then I block out my business, because I did set the intention that I want my life to dictate my business. I don't want my business to dictate my life.
Yes.
So I have to create that schedule to really represent that. Doesn't mean that I I am with my daughter 8 hours a day, every day either, but when I'm with her, I'm with her.
Yes.
When I'm with family events, I'm with family. I'm not worried about anything else. So, and then, and that's a building legacy, showing love, like I label it things that make me run to that next block of time and really allow me to understand what's the why behind it.
This is the first time that I've heard someone say that, but I really love the idea of labeling it, that it makes me run to it. I
Yeah.
love that. What's the most powerful business mindset or entrepreneurial book that you've ever read? This is the one that like you keep going back to again, and it's made the biggest difference in your life.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, it would never be one. It would never be one, but there is one that does stand out.
Okay.
I love Go Giver.
Okay.
I really do like Go Giver. I love that book. But the other one that I really love is The Art of War by Stephen Pressfield. Because there was one thing he had in there that like totally changed the trajectory of part of my mindset. He was like, if you know how to get there, you're not dreaming big enough. And I was like, damn it, I know how to get a lot of places. So I was like living underneath the radar. I got a lot of credit for the things that I knew, but I really wasn't pushing myself outside my comfort zone. It was uncomfortable for others. That's why I got away with it. But to truly push myself way outside there, I don't even know how to get there. Oh my gosh. That's how I become a founder of a movement, the Live Rich Spread Wealth movement. That's what was like part of the seed that was planted for me to impact 10 million people to live rich and spread wealth.
Oh, love that. So, I mean, I feel like your mindset is like everything that every entrepreneur wants. So tell me, what's your favorite quote, mantra, affirmation for when things get tough and you feel like giving up?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm not one that's really good for asking for help. So I have an affirmation hack.
Okay.
So I got this in 2019, which I'm so thankful for. So my affirmation hack is, I'm supported above and beyond whatever I can even imagine. I'm supported above and beyond whatever I can imagine. Because
that feels good.
That took me off the hook to want to know everything that I needed. Fully supported all the time. And I don't even need to know how to ask. But it just like pulled me forward. Like during the pandemic, my clients did really well. The health issues, that didn't take me out. George Floyd did take me out. That whole racial thing that really like hurt my soul. And I ended up getting counseling. Like I was like, look, I'm supporting all these giants. I give from an overflow cup. I have to make sure that I can continue to have this overflow. And at that time, I was like, I'm a limping giant. I know what that looks like. Let me go ahead and take care of myself. But I had a full team during the pandemic, so I can be the best for others. I had to be the best for myself in order to be the best for others. And that hack, I feel like, allowed me to be open to getting the support I needed, not being so worried about the monetary concern, because I was still A1, the money was there, like it came. And if I had actually not gotten support, I would have taken a dip that would have impacted, it would be a
ripple effect.
Ripple effect, yes. It would have been a ripple effect. And
Yeah.
so this is what really helped me. And so that really has supported me.
Oh, I love that. And finally, you're in the Success with Soul podcast. So what does success with soul mean to you?
Well, I feel like for one thing, you cannot have true success without soul. Yes. That's the one thing, right? And so what success with soul means to me is that it's actually not too far from Live Rich Spread Wealth. It's that you've accepted all of who you are. Your soul is very powerful, the richness, the texture, and that you're able to have that groundedness so that you can truly impact the world without giving up the things that mean the most to you. Like your soul gets to interact with other souls. You bring souls into this world, or we like navigate them and they come in themselves. But I mean, we push them out, but they're their own souls. So when you're able to, I always see people's souls. I don't really see people like the wrapper on the outside. I see the souls, because then I can see someone as, you're someone's daughter. You're someone's mom. No matter how big they are, even if the president, they're someone's child. So no matter what's going on, it allows you to have that humanity connection. That's what the soul offers us. And then it's our responsibility to step into the success of that. But it's also a path of fulfillment. You know, we can just follow the money without the soul, but the fulfillment can be left behind. I feel like soul success offers you that fulfillment, that alignment, and that connection with humanity. That's what success is to me.
Oh, I love that. Melissa, it has been such a pleasure. You have no idea. I myself am going to go back and look through these show notes. There were so many quotes. There were so many gold nuggets. There were so many things that I want to implement into my own life. So thank you so much. I guarantee you that our listeners are equally going to feel the way I feel having you on today's show. You're amazing. So tell us, where can our audience connect with you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, so the best way to find me on social media is I am Melissa Hughes. I do have a documentary that was released last year, so they can go to liverichspreadwealth.com. Everybody has its free access to get in there. I always want to make it that way. And if you want to learn more about me, melissahughes.com. So I really keep it simple, melissahughes.com, liverichspreadwealth.com, and I am Melissa Hughes. But I also want to say, Indira, I just want to say that thank you so much for you and your team doing what you do. I was able to see what you guys are all about. That incubator is amazing. I want to just encourage you guys to continue to shine your light. We need giants like you gals continually out there and making this room for the other women to listen to see what's possible. I want to just continue to encourage you and to celebrate you. And thank you for having me here today to share the space with you as well.
Thank you so much on behalf of Team KK. That means so much, Melissa. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Okay, have a great day.
Yeah.